So Jigyasu,
Yes, sir.
so you are from Bhubaneswar.
Yes, sir.
How is Corona situation in Bhubaneswar?
Sir, for last 1 2 days, positive cases are dropping, but the reason is people are not getting tested because they're scared. So, uh, I mean, there are actually a lot more positive cases than how much actually the data is showing.
Okay. So where do you stay in Bhubaneswar?
Bhubaneswar, in a village Ghatikya, it's near CET college.
Acha, Ghatikya. I know Ghatikya. My house is in Salisri Bihar.
Oh.
Near that DAV school.
So the positive case, the rate of increase in positive cases in Bhubaneswar has been like 21% for past couple of days.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, people are not going to hospital to get tested because they are scared. So
Yeah, that may be the reason. But that is dangerous.
yes, sir.
So because people do not know they are positive and they will be mixing with other people. So this infection is more. Okay, so we'll start. Last class we have discussed some basics of the bending deformation, and
Sir,
today
we are about to start the new model.
new model. Yeah. So the model starts from here. Last class yesterday I told you what is the logic of the model, means what is the basic philosophy of this model.
Yes, sir. So
Uh,
the total energy, we are equating the total strain energy that was here. The AB region was increasing and the D region was decreasing, and the idea was to equate the total change in energy to work done by external moment.
I will explain it again. I will explain it again. So, oh sorry. So can you see the full screen now?
Yes, sir.
The full screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So what exactly we want to do in this model? Our objective is to find out flexural rigidity of the fabric. So what the diagrams you see here is a unit cell of the fabric. So we assume this end is fixed, couple is applied at this end. Can you see my dear cursor?
Yes, sir.
So that means it's a cantilever bending. So in cantilever, this end is fixed, couple will be applied here, the fabric will bend. Okay, then if it will be bent, what is the physical thing happening in the fabric? This yarn bend means it is going down. This warp yarn will bend, and how much it will bend we can measure by change in angle, what angle it is making. If you know couple applied is M and angle it makes, change in angle it makes, then you can find out what will be the work done. Couple applied into angular displacement. So this work done can be equated with when this fabric is bent, that means fabric, anything bent or anything stretched or anything compressed, strain energy will be stored in the material. And this strain energy which will be stored in the fabric will be sum total of the strain energy in weft and warp. And one can always equate the strain energy stored in the material with the total work done by applying the couple, and from where the bending rigidity can be determined. This is the philosophy, and how we will do this theoretically, that we will see in this model. So I'm just giving you 2 minutes to draw this diagram. So you need not draw this diagram, this is with you already. Only draw this diagram, then we will proceed. So I'm just giving 2 minutes, all of you draw this diagram. Based on this diagram, the model is formulated.
Sir, this fabric before bending diagram?
Yes, right hand side diagram.
Fabric after bending.
Fabric after bending, yeah. This is fabric before
Okay,
bending,
sir.
which you have already drawn in the previous slide. It is the same diagram. Before bending means originally the fabric was like this. Now the couple will be applied here. When I said when the couple will be applied here, it is a cantilever bending. This side is fixed. So this side means this side here in this diagram. This is fixed, couple is applied, so this is coming down. When this is coming down, originally it was straight, parallel. Now it is coming down, it is making an angle, this angle, gamma. So all these I will explain in the next slide. Just draw this diagram quickly.
Sir, done.
Okay. So what is written here is during bending, the region AB, look at left hand side diagram AB. So this B in the bent fabric remains here. This region AB tends to increase. That means the position B was here. In this diagram it was here. Now changes means B is shifted to B dash. When B is shifted to B dash, this contact length increases. Whereas the region DE, originally the D was here, DE means it is somewhere in this place, D, which is written here. Now this D has shifted to here. That means this contact has decreased. So this has what is the basic change before bending and after bending. So same diagram here, you don't have to draw this diagram. Only I have explained what I said. After bending, AB dash D dash E, no change in curvature take place. On B dash D dash, a change does take place, and most of calculations are concerned with the finding these changes. So how much change has been made because of this bending? Now we will find out from the change in position of the fabric, which has really caused a change in angle here. So this change can be considered as basis for predicting bending energy. This is the basic background based on which we will predict the bending energy of this fabric because of cantilever bending. Okay, and how it is taking place, let us see. When fabric bent, we can visualize as shown here in this diagram. Okay, you have to draw this diagram. I'm giving another 2 minutes. Draw this diagram quickly.
Yes, sir, done.
Okay. So the figure shows a single thread spacing. It is a unit set. So this is warp yarn. In between, we have weft yarn. In this, here another weft yarn. And what this figure shows, a single thread spacing bent through an angle gamma. So the forces V1 and H1 and the couple which is applied here, which has caused the bending, they will be in equilibrium. Means before deformation for onset fabric, V1 is equal to V0. Let us assume onset fabric, you understand, we have discussed in rigid thread model. So when if the fabric is onset and before deformation, V1 is equal to V0. For set fabric, V1 is equal to 0. Because in a set fabric, there is no strain energy. The fabric is balanced. Set means fully relaxed. So there is no force here. There will be no force here. But in order that the cross yarns can be crimped by equal and opposite force, remember, we have applied a couple. Fabric is bent. When it is bent, this yarn is strained. Look at this. This yarn is strained. That means decrimping. If it was bent, there was the contact length was more. Contact length was more means it is basically the crimp. But once it is straightened, the contact length has decreased, means yarn has straightened. That means decrimping has taken place. That is what written here. The cross yarns can be crimped by equal and opposite forces. So what is happening due to this bending? The cross yarn, cross X means if you are bending warp yarn, cross yarn is weft. If you are bending weft yarn, cross yarn is warp. That is what the meaning. Cross means we have only two threads, warp or weft. The resultant angle AO must be equal to the resultant along EO. So if it is balanced, the force here along AO and along EO, they will be balanced. And now we'll make a equilibrium equation balancing these two forces along AO and EO. So what will be the resultant along AO? AO is V1 and V1 will be, look at this V1 is same as this V1. V1 will be V1 cos gamma plus H1 sin gamma, and H1, look at this is in this direction, H1 is V1 tan gamma by 2. So the calculation of the shape of B dash D dash, B dash D dash, which is free section. You understand what is free section? Free section is this B dash D dash, this free section, because this section remains in contact with weft. This section also remain in contact with weft. In between, this is free section. So that is what written here is the calculation of the shape of B dash D dash, that is free section, proceeds much along the same line as Pierce rigid thread model, because this is actually the free section which will be bent, and according to what we have discussed in rigid thread model. Once the shape of thread is known, if you can determine what is the shape of this thread, then change in curvature can be found out. Change in curvature is nothing but which will be according to this change in this angle, because the change in curvature means the change in angle. That means it will cause the change in this radius of curvature. That we can calculate by this manner. First, calculate strain energy in warp. Let the strain energy in warp is denoted by U1. Strain energy is equal to half m square by twice B1. If you recall, we have already discussed this in Castigliano theorem. Strain energy is equal to m square upon twice B. The same formula is written here, half B1 m square ds, because it is just one unit cell. For whole fabric we have to integrate, which is B1 is a constant, that is the rigidity of the yarn comes out, and m is equal to 1 upon rho minus 1 upon rho naught. Remember, m is equal to B upon rho, and this is a fabric. It has already bent. If it is bent, then m is equal to 1 upon rho minus 1 upon rho naught. If you are not able to follow, just I will show you where from it has come. Look at this. B upon rho is m minus m naught. So m will be, if it is there is a change, means initially it was 1 upon rho naught corresponding to m naught. Finally, corresponding to m, it becomes 1 upon rho. So change will be 1 upon rho minus 1 upon rho naught, which is same as equivalent to change in m minus m naught, and that is what written here. M is substituted by 1 upon rho minus 1 upon rho naught. Rho naught when the applied couple is less than the couple or resistance offered by the fabric, and this is actually applied couple. So change, that is B square upon twice B square. This is strain energy in warp yarn. What will be strain energy in weft yarn? Just few minutes before I told you the change in weft is nothing but the change in crimp. change in crimp is nothing but change in crimp amplitude. So if you assume what was original crimp amplitude, after change, what is the final crimp amplitude, take the difference. So the difference is taken here, H2 minus H2. So this is original amplitude. Now after this final amplitude means it is bending, means it is decrimping. So after decrimping, crimping is reduced, means crimp amplitude has gone down. Initially it was more. So the change means change in crimp amplitude, that is the displacement. So H2 naught minus H2 is the actual displacement of the fabric due to bending, that is due to application of the couple, which has caused bending in the fabric. And this bending is because of as a function of applied load, which is dV upon dH. And this dV upon dH value is written here as 23.6. Exactly, this is an empirical value. This empirical value has been published in some another journal, which is taken here. So you have to remember this, because I'm not giving you the how this value has been obtained, the derivation. This is empirically proved that this dV upon dH is equal to this much. So that's why, just to avoid the complication, I have used a symbol Ks. So you don't have to remember this whole formula, just say it is Ks. So V is equal to V naught plus Ks, because this is change. This was original force. So we can find out now the work done. Work done in Webtian is nothing but the force applied into displacement. Force is V naught, V minus V naught, average force. This was initial, this was final. So take the average, half V naught, V minus V naught into displacement is nothing but change in crimp amplitude. This was original crimp amplitude, this is final crimp amplitude. The difference will be the actual displacement of the fabric. So the work done by in the Webtian is force into displacement, and simplified it is written in this form, which is nothing but mean force into mean change in crimp height, which is called displacement. That is work done by the Webtian. So total strain energy will be warp strain energy, web strain energy. Warp strain energy we have already calculated previous one, U1, which is this much. Now we have calculated U2, which is this much. U1 plus U2 is equal to this plus this. So this is total strain energy in the unit cell when the fabric is bent, applying a couple M, which has resulted a displacement of H2 naught minus H2, because we are simply calculating based on this displacement. And what this displacement I just explained you. What has happened? How you calculate this? Look at this, or you can see in this. Originally it was straight, now it has come down, means there is a change in crimp amplitude, H2 naught minus H2. So that is what's shown here. The difference in crimp amplitude has been taken as the actual displacement due to bending. So U is given by this, which is strain energy in the system. System means just one unit cell. This strain energy U must be equal to the work done by the external couple. Strain energy, remember, strain energy is stored in the material. But how the strain energy came into the material in the fabric? Because we have bent, and we have bent means we have done some work. How much is the work done? Because couple is applied M, the change has been shown in the angle gamma. Because of this couple applied, it was originally straight, now it has taken this shape. Higher is the couple, more it will bend, this angle will go on increasing. So couple applied M multiplied by this angle will be the total work done. Half M gamma is the work done by the external couple. If rho F is the radius of curvature of the fabric made by the central plane of the fabric, then M is equal to Bf upon rho F. We know M is equal to B upon rho. So M is couple applied, Bf is the bending rigidity of the fabric, and this has changed, made a radius of curvature rho F, and we know M is equal to B upon rho F. Substitute the value of M here. So half Bf gamma rho F will be strain energy, from where we can calculate Bf is equal to 2 rho F U upon gamma. This is expression for the bending rigidity of a fabric in terms of strain energy and change in angle made, which has caused because of the bending of the fabric. So this is, in this model, bending rigidity of the fabric can be expressed in terms of how much strain energy is stored in the fabric, how much the fabric has been bent. When the fabric is bent to cause a radius of curvature rho F and an angle gamma. So the ratio Bf upon B1, Bf is the bending rigidity of the fabric, B1 is the bending rigidity of the yarn, constituent yarn, depends essentially on D upon 2P2. This has nothing to do with this derivation. This is textile common sense knowledge. I am just trying to explain it. This is very, very important because subsequent model will be based on this. I am trying to explain, just try to understand. What we are saying, for the time being, forget it. If you recall, in case of tensile properties, you have come across any fabric made from any yarn. If you divide the tensile strength of a fabric divided by tensile strength of the yarn, it is always greater than 1, which we call it fabric assistance. We want to verify similar thing in case of bending. If a fabric is made from a yarn whose bending rigidity is B1 and the fabric made from this yarn, the bending rigidity of the fabric is Bf, what will be the ratio? This Bf upon B1 will be greater than 1 or less than 1. That means if the fabric is made of, let's say, 100 thread, you first measure the bending rigidity of fabric, then you measure the bending rigidity of each yarn multiplied by 100. This will be bending rigidity of the total yarn in warp direction or wave direction. Then we want to examine what will happen to bending rigidity of the fabric. Will it be higher than the bending rigidity of the yarn in the same direction, or it will be less than 1? That means we want to see Bf upon B1 is greater than 1 or less than 1. So the explanation of this theory is mentioned here. What is mentioned here is, means what is the logic, whether it will be greater than 1 or less than 1. It depends essentially on D upon 2P2. What is the D? D1 plus D2. What is 2P2? 2 consecutive spacing. So 2 is here. D upon 2 means this D is equal to D1 plus D2. Let's say if D1 is equal to D2, it is only in the numerator we'll have only a small d. So the ratio, this will depend upon D upon P. D is the diameter, P is spacing. And you know D upon P is nothing but the fabric cover. As the fabric, the threads will be closer and closer and closer, P will be less. So D upon P will be more. the cover factor will be high. So this D upon 2P is nothing but the fabric cover. Here it is written D. D means twice of yarn diameter. Divided by 2 means it will be here in numerator only D. So P is thread spacing. So D upon P. What will be this value depends on D upon P. And theta 1 naught means crimp in the yarn. This crimp is also angle of weave angle. We have already derived in Pierce geometry. Theta can be expressed in the weave angle. So in case of this, what will be this relationship? It depends on two things. It depends on two situations. One situation is whether the force is a distributed contact force or the force is a contact force. It is little bit difficult, but you have to imagine because we have all done this earlier. I think you remember what is distributed contact and what is point contact. Distributed contact means the yarn this is a distributed contact. If this is a pure circle, this is another pure circle, and if it covers it up, it will be a point contact. So what we are saying is the change is taking place in this manner. So this distance is increasing, this distance is decreasing. Initially it was a distributed contact, now it is going towards point contact. So what will be the force? It will depend on whether it is distributed contact or point contact. So if you understand this distributed contact, point contact and D upon P, then the whole theory can be understood. You have to just imagine what happens in the fabric. So now I read it based on this. The ratio BF upon B1 depends essentially on D upon 2P2, that is nothing but D upon P, and the crimp, because crimp will decide the distributed contact or point contact. Higher is the crimp, it will be distributed contact. If crimp gradually reduces, means contact length decreases, it will head towards point contact. For small value of a D upon 2P, that means if D upon P is less, that means fabric is a loose fabric. So obviously this will be point contact. Loose fabric means the distance is increasing. The contact length is decreasing. So it will be a point contact, then distributed contact. In that case, BF upon B1 is independent of a D upon 2P2. The calculations for onset fabric tends to be similar, except BF upon B1 values are rather small. And for some fabrics, this BF upon B1 is less than 1. What is this fabric? What is the fabric in which you will find BF upon B1 is less than 1? Remember, in case of tensile strength, the strength of fabric is always greater than strength of yarn. Whereas in case of bending, the strength of fabric, the ratio BF upon B1 can be less than 1 also, but not in all the fabrics. In which fabric this will be less than 1? This will be less than 1 means the flexural rigidity of fabric is less than yarn, means flexural rigidity of yarn from which they are made. This effect is associated with either very slack fabric. Slack fabric means the threads are quite apart. Cover factor is less. It is a point contact. It is not distributed contact. Or with high dP upon 2. That means where the crimp is very, very low. So this is relating to the exact textile knowledge. If you imagine what happens to the fabric when threads are quite apart, when crimp is reduced, what happens to point contact and what happens to distributed contact, then what happens to this BF upon B1. In loose fabric, this BF upon B1 is less than 1. If it is tight fabric, then obviously this BF upon B1 will be greater than 1. So the ratio of bending rigidity of the fabric to the bending rigidity of the constituent yarn depends on fabric structure, whether it is a high cover fabric or low cover fabric, whether thread spacing is very less or thread spacing is very high. That will decide whether the ratio of bending rigidity of the fabric to the ratio of the bending rigidity of the yarn will be more or less. Contrary to, in case of tensile strength, it is normally always the strength of fabric is greater than strength of constituent yarn. Whether this fabric assistance will be 1%, 2%, 5% or 10%, of course it depends on the contact, means whether yarn spacing is more or less. If yarn spacing is less, means inter-yarn friction is more, fabric assistance you will get in that case more. But all the time you will find the strength of a fabric is greater than the strength of constituent yarn, which does not happen in this case of bending rigidity. Bending rigidity of a fabric will be greater than the bending rigidity of the yarn or less than bending rigidity of yarn. It purely depends on what is the value of D upon 2P2. This is what the conclusion of this analysis. So this is a experimental result. You may ignore it because you don't have the experimental data. So this is taken from a research paper, so you can ignore it. And that is what I discussed, summarized here. For some fabric, BF upon B1 is less than 1. That is, flexural rigidity of the fabric is less than flexural rigidity of the constituent yarn. This effect noted experimentally by Owen, that is another researcher, in some cases. And look at here, very slack fabric, D upon 2P2 is less than 0.5. For fabric with high D upon 2P2 values with low crimp, if the crimp is low in this case, because here the spacing is very less. Okay, so this is what the interpretation, that is, you have to understand this concept, and we have to, of course, realize that what happens to bending rigidity of a fabric. It will come in many practical implications, not now, but in future, if you will come across, when we convert this fabric into composite, or wherever the bending rigidity of fabric comes into actual, practical applications. In that case only you can use this concept, but when it will come into actual application, we are not now discussing those applications, but you have to understand this basic concept, then you can apply your textile knowledge to interpret what is happening actually in the fabric. Now we are switching over to another model. Look at what this model is. I go back again to the previous model. So what we are considering, this fabric as a whole was unit shell, couple was applied, the fabric is bent. So we are assuming this bending, when we are taking this angle, the whole thing we are considering as one straight line. It is angle, means it is a triangle. So this is a straight line, this is a straight line, this is a straight line. When this concept was published, another scientist who came, he just contradicted this concept. He said it is not possible. What it is not possible? He says this yarn when it is bending, this warp yarn when bends, it will not bend. It will not make the same bending in contact zone and in free zone. They will bend differently because this is a free zone. This will be bent differently than this contact zone, because when this zone will try to bend, it will be obstructed by this yarn. When this zone will try to bend, this will be obstructed by this yarn in contact zone. So what he gave the idea, it is quite wrong to assume that the whole yarn bends uniformly. We must segregate this bending The free zone will be bent in a different manner. This contact zone will be bent in a different manner. So what he gave the nomenclature, this zone he said a rigid zone, and this said is a flexible zone. Again, this zone is a rigid zone. Because why rigid? Because it has some resistance to bending. Here also it has a resistance to bending, whereas this is the length of yarn between two yarns, which is free zone and it is flexible. So he converted the whole length into three parts: rigid 1, flexible, rigid 2. This is what the second model is. According to this model, the warp can be thought of as consisting of rigid due to inter-yarn force, because in this rigid zone means below warp there is a weft and there is a inter-yarn force, and flexible section as shown in the figure. So this is rigid, this is flexible means free zone, again this rigid and flexible, rigid and flexible, and so on. When a couple will be applied here, this bending will take place. The bending in this rigid zone will take place in a different manner than the blending in this flexible zone. And if you take sum total of this R upon R plus F, you can say this is L, our modular length. Normally modular length is from this center to this center. So this center means if you take this one complete and this one complete, it will be the same thing. So L is equal to R plus F. That is from this diagram. Now let us see how it bends. There is nothing new concept, only what we have learned is given the notation. This is what is happening in rigid zone. This is what is happening in the flexible zone. So look at in actual fabric. This will be rigid zone. This gap will be flexible zone. Rigid zone, flexible zone. When fabric will be bent, the bending will take place more in the flexible zone. The bending will take place less in rigid zone. That is what's shown here. For rigid zone, M is less than M naught. So 1 by rho R is equal to 0. I hope you all understand this. If there is no physical bending, there is 1 upon rho will be 0, because it is straight. Straight means radius of curvature is infinity. So curvature is 0. If M is greater than M naught, that means bending is taking place. So B upon rho R will be M minus M naught. This we have already discussed earlier. For flexible zone, M is less than M naught. That means 1 upon rho F is equal to 0. If M is greater than M naught, BF upon rho F is equal to M minus M naught, where M is greater than, less than M naught. And BF means B1F, bending rigidity of flexible zone, is less than bending rigidity of rigid yarn. This will bend more, this will be bent less. So rigidity is more here, rigidity is less here. This is what explained based on the bending couple and curvature relationship, what we have discussed earlier. What will happen in rigid zone, what will happen in flexible zone. Okay, using this concept, the model is formed. Now I am giving you 2 minutes to draw this diagram. Just this concept will be used to here to find out what will be bending rigidity of the fabric. So draw this diagram. This corresponds to rigid, this corresponds to rigid, in between this corresponds to flexible. As a whole is one unit cell. So this flexible zone is bent making an angle psi f. Rigid zone is bent, making an angle psi r. Here also same, the psi r. So this psi r will be equal to this psi r. That means the rho r formed here, rho r formed here will remain the same, and this rho f is flexible zone will be different. So draw this diagram, then we'll substitute the value. It is very simple. There is no problem. So only thing is you have to understand these three zones are bent in a different manner. This is flexible zone bent more, rigid zone is bent less. So the radius of curvature or the curvature made by rigid zone and flexible zone are different. That's why the angle made here psi r, the angle made here psi f means corresponding to flexible, psi r means corresponding to rigid. They will be different. So draw this diagram quickly, then we will proceed.
Sir, done.
Okay. So consider the fabric is bent by a couple M, which is greater than M naught, and it is deliberate, because if M is not greater than M naught, then there will be no bending, as you know. If M is less than M naught, then you cannot find this angle. It will still remain straight. So that's why deliberately the applied couple is greater than M naught, so that both sections are bent. Rigid section as well as flexible sections are bent. So we can say angle psi r refers to this angle, and here also this angle is equal to r upon twice rho r. Angle psi f upon rho f, and angle psi means total fabric P2 upon r. P2 is spacing upon r. So angle psi is nothing but this angle plus these two angles twice rigid, the rigid 1, rigid 2, and flexible. So total angle psi is twice rigid plus 1 flexible. Substitute the value from here. This is equal to P2 upon rho. This is equal to R upon rho R. This is equal to F upon rho F. Or if you substitute 1 upon rho F by M minus M naught upon BF, M is equal to B upon rho. This we have B is equal to M upon rho, using the same concept. You can substitute this by this equation. Simply M is equal to B upon rho. So this rho is substituted by M. So P2 upon M minus M naught BF divided by BF is equal to R upon this is equal to F M minus M naught upon B1F. And remember, this relationship holds good for all values of M. So here M is only the variable, B is constant, this B is constant, this is bending rigidity of yarn, this is bending rigidity of fabric, P is also constant because we are not changing the fabric. This R is a constant rigid portion, F is constant flexible portion. Only changing is we go on changing the couple applied. As this couple will go on changing, it will cause all the changes, means it will cause change in angle psi, it will cause change in radius of curvature. So the variable in this case is, in this equation, is M. That's why what we are saying, this relationship holds good for all values of M. And any algebraic expression, if holds good for all values of M, then obviously it is not an equation, it is an identity. As you know, A plus B whole square or A plus B whole cube, they are all identity, they are not equation. Since this relationship holds good for any value of M, then it becomes an identity. And if it is an identity, we must be in a position to equate the coefficients. So once we prove this is an identity because it holds good for all values of M, then we can simply equate the coefficients of the identity. So take the coefficients of these. So this is the coefficient. So take the coefficients. P2 upon Bf is equal to R upon B1R plus F upon B1F. And another coefficient, this is equal to this plus this. When R tends to 0, gives point contact, fabric becomes slack. Remember, when R tends to 0 means if there is no rigid zone, gives point contact, fabric will touch, warp will touch to weft only at one point. So automatically the fabric becomes very, very slack. Then what will happen? If R is 0, P2 upon Bf is equal to F upon B1F. Since F tends to L, flexible zone, because R is already 0. Original L is R plus F, sorry, twice R plus F, but R tends to 0 means F will be L. So B1F upon becomes B1. So Bf will be B1P P into L1, which can be converted to this, means B1 upon 1 plus C1. So Bf is equal to B1 upon 1 plus C1. That means Bf is less than B1. That means the bending rigidity of fabric is less than the bending rigidity of constituent yarn. And for point contact, so when there is a point contact, means fabric is very, very slack. The bending rigidity of the fabric is always less than bending rigidity of constituent yarn. Okay, that is what we conclude here. If you take the calculated value from this formula, if you plot versus experimental value, the correlation is very, very high. You can see the dots are experimental values. And if you plot a best fitting curve, look at it is a linear. That means the correlation coefficient between experimental bending rigidity and calculated bending rigidity is very, very high. That means this shows this theory or this model is a very accurate and appropriate model, which is very clearly visible from this correlation study. You know, after making any model, how we authenticate model? We authenticate model only by this method. We calculate putting some values of the fabric and we test the fabric. So the test value is called experimental values and this is called calculated value, means taken from the model. So we plot the curve between relation between experimental values and model values and see what is the relationship. If the relationship is found to be quite linear, that means there is a strong correlation between experimental values and calculated values. That's why this model is considered is a superior model than the previous model. So remember, whenever we try to find out the bending rigidity of a fabric, it mostly depends on the what is the structure of the fabric, in the sense whether they are close spacing or the yarns are quite apart. That means it all depends on R upon F. In this case, we are assuming R tends to 0, means point contact. So fabric is a loose fabric. And this is what is resulted. Okay. So this is how these two models we discussed in bending rigidity, and you can see, if you have a time, just see one numerical problem here. Quickly. Very simple application, just elementary, the most fundamental one. We know M minus M naught is equal to B upon rho. B is bending rigidity. This is not P, this is rho, radius of curvature. So M minus M naught is this. M is applied couple. This is frictional restraint. The value is 1.7 mu n. So the same concept can be used to make many other numerical problems. So you have to just practice this. But this is possible only when you understand what the fabric is, what you mean by rigidity of a yarn, rigidity of fabrics, thread spacing, point contact, distributed contact. And you have to understand this. Imagine whenever a numerical problem will be given, you have to imagine that what is the structure of the fabric. All the notations used in the model must be clearly understood. And it is very self-explanatory. If you look at the diagram, if you have drawn the diagram correctly, you can make out what is the component in the fabric. Okay, so you note down this and after that you may log out.
Sir, why the role 1 by 10 by 1.7? It should be 1 by 1.7, right?
Sorry, you asked something?
Sir, the value of rho should be 1 by 1.7, right? Why it's written 10 by 1.7?
I think it must be millimeter and centimeter something. 10 times.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you.